Hello and welcome, Lens Legends, to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography, the real business challenges that professional photographers face every single day. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side. And it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. If you're new here, let me tell you what we're all about. This is where we cut through the noise and get straight to what actually helps build a sustainable portrait photography business. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. This show is for photographers who feel they've got something to learn on the business side. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. And let me bring up this quick, that's not the one I wanted. There it is. We've got two wonderful sponsors. The first I'm going to share with you is Digital Pro Lab. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing team. Oh my gosh, they are so fantastic. They love what they do. They are career people, not people who are here today and off to some other job tomorrow. Nope, they love what they do. And the amazing side effect is that you look like a hero to your clients. You know, for those of you who don't print or haven't printed yet or intimidated by printing, you're going to love this process. They're going to hold your hand through it. And it's not hard, but if you haven't done it before, it's still intimidating. Digital Pro Lab is going to help you out. You'll love working with Digital Pro Lab. Go to digitalprolab.com and let me put that on the screen just real quick. So you know, there it is, digitalprolab.com. And of course, this is also sponsored by me, my company, Landers Photography School. So I'll put that up here on the screen as well and change that to this. That address that you see there on the bottom is straight to my calendar. If you'd like a 15-minute session free, private, just you and me, to talk about your goals, your needs, the things that are important to you, there's the link to do that. Landers Photography School teaches both the photography side and the business side, though we do spend the majority of our time nowadays on the business side, helping you to earn the living that you should be earning in photography. And yes, you can make good income, a great income in photography. Most don't because they don't understand what it is they need to do. But reach out to me and I'll make sure that you do know what to do. I encourage you to make comments and ask questions throughout today's discussion. I want you to right now go over to the comment section. And if you haven't already, and I can see some of you have, enter in hashtag live. So I'll know you're watching us on, and we're simulcast to different places. We're simulcast to Facebook and to Instagram and to LinkedIn and to YouTube. And the software platform that we use brings some of those in so that I can actually see them on my screen. It doesn't show me everything. It doesn't show me the Facebook comments. In fact, if you make a comment on Instagram, great, thank you. But it's only visible during the live. As soon as I log off, I lose access to those. It deletes everything. So it's a live only kind of a thing when it's on Instagram. On LinkedIn and YouTube, it does make it where I can go in and check and see the comments that you're making. For those that are watching the replay, please enter in hashtag replay. Again, if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're here watching live. And let me do 3 quick shout outs. I'll do some more later, maybe. But the first 3 that entered in a hashtag live, I want to just do a quick shout out to you guys. So thank you, Rick. I'm glad you're here. Robin, glad you're here. And Greg, so you're the first 3 that entered in hashtag live. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad all of you are here. All right. Today we're talking about building a website, and we've brought in an expert, the author of a book on creating websites. So If you haven't created a website plan for your photography business, maybe because you didn't know how, you didn't know where to start, or it feels overwhelming, today's episode is for you. If you want to update your website to make sure that it is a lead magnet, a lead driving machine, you're going to be glad you're watching today, because we're discussing a method that can help you plan your entire site in a single day using AI tools. So stick around to learn how to create a blueprint for an online presence that actually brings you clients. Today, I'm excited to welcome business owner and author Andrew Martinez to Portrait Profits. Andrew is a professional website creator from San Antonio and is the owner of Powerful Digital Solutions. Since 2014, he's been helping businesses build and redesign websites that get results. His new book, From Idea to Blueprint, shows how to use AI tools like ChatGPT to create a complete website blueprint in just 24 hours without needing any technical background. So I want to bring Andrew on the screen here with me today. Let's see. Do that. Hey, Andrew, how's it going today?
Hey, Jim, I'm doing great. How about you?
So glad that you are here with us today. I'm excited about the knowledge that you have, that you are so generous with sharing with us today here on the Portrait Profit Show. So I'm welcoming you to the show, and I look forward to learning how photographers can apply your website planning methods to stand out online. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself before I get into the topic of website planning?
Sure thing. And first off, I definitely thank you for having me here today. And yeah, as you said, my name is Andrew Martinez. I run a website creation business here in San Antonio, Texas. The owner of my business is Powerful Digital Solutions, where my goal is to get you on the path to a powerful online presence. And yeah, I've been self-employed since October 2017. And yeah, I enjoy helping service-based solopreneurs and other small business owners create a professional online presence that gets results. And in November 24th, 2024, I wrote and published my first book titled From Idea to Blueprint, where, in a nutshell, it's about how to use the power of AI to plan out the details of your website and create your own website blueprint.
Very cool. It's, this isn't part of the questions that I had been thinking about asking, but writing a book, that's a lot of time, a lot of effort. You've got to be totally mentally dedicated for, a good period of time, and you have to do it all on your own. You have to provide your own internal motivation to keep going. I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's get to some questions real quick that I think that the photographers who are watching are going to benefit from. So, applying to photography, how can portrait photographers specifically apply the website planning methods in your book to their unique business?
It's interesting you ask me that, because as I was writing the book, I came up with 4 different entrepreneurial characters so that I would have 4 different website blueprints to share with my readers. And one of those entrepreneurial characters is a photographer. So I came up with a fictitious photographer named Ed, who's based in Austin, Texas. And just to answer the question, yeah, readers can follow Ed's roadmap throughout the book, because in my book, I provide the ChatGPT prompts and other guidance you need to create every section of your website blueprint. And as readers go through my book, they'll be able to see how Ed applies my ChatGPT prompts to creating his fictitious photography website. And yeah, once you follow all the steps, by the time you get to the end of my book, yeah, you'll have a well-organized Google Doc containing all the sections of your website blueprint, just like Ed.
That's really cool that one of your characters in the book is actually a photographer. That's going to be helpful. So I personally appreciate that, and I'm sure that those who are watching think that's pretty darn cool. So maybe you could give us a process overview, maybe walk us through the basic process of how someone might use ChatGPT or whatever you suggest to create their website blueprint in such a short period of time.
All right, sure thing. Yeah, in my book, I use the illustration from Iron Man, how Tony Stark had Jarvis as his digital sidekick, someone to help him with different aspects of his life and his missions. And just as Tony Stark was able to give Jarvis clear-cut instructions when he needs something, likewise, we can treat ChatGPT as our digital assistant, and we can give ChatGPT like clear-cut instructions when we need something outputted. And in my book, I talk about the very first prompt where that gets ChatGPT primed and ready to serve you well. And in my very first prompt, it basically lets ChatGPT know that, hey, just so you know, I'm about to plan out a website, and it's going to have these 4 different sections. We're going to go through these sections one by one. And as we go through each section, just keep in mind best practices for website design and small business. So once readers input that very first prompt, then you got your digital assistant primed and ready. And the first section of my website blueprint is the business strategy and audience. So there's a prompt for establishing your business goals. There's another prompt for establishing your target audience, and then another prompt for establishing your website goals. And once you have all of that down, then we go to the next section of the website blueprint, which is the style guide, which is your colors and fonts. So there's a prompt for establishing your website colors, another prompt for establishing your website fonts. Then once we have that section down, we go to section 3, which is the website fundamentals, the website name, domain name, and slogan. So once again, readers will see a ChatGPT prompt for establishing like the right name for the website and business, and then another prompt for establishing the right domain name to register, because oftentimes the business name might be a little too long, so it wouldn't really make sense to use that as the domain name. So like, for example, if I could go back in time and change my domain name, Powerful Digital Solutions, I probably would have made it a little bit shorter so that people wouldn't have to type out the whole thing and trying to look me up on their phone. So after getting that down, then readers will see a prompt for establishing the right slogan, because the slogan, that's often one of the first things people will see when they go to your website or view your business card, whatnot. Then after having that section down, then we go to the fourth and final section, which is the website content. So readers will see a prompt for establishing the right web pages for the website, and they'll see another prompt for coming up with the initial homepage content. And throughout my book, I show you how to organize this all into an organized Google Doc. And in case readers aren't familiar with Google Docs or not familiar with ChatGPT, so I offer like screenshots and other guidance throughout my book. And in addition to that, I offer a bonus companion course, which includes video guidance on like how to set up everything in Google Docs and how to use ChatGPT, and also a template for the website blueprint. And I show you how to copy that template within your Google Drive. So all in all, I'm all about giving my readers the guidance and resources they need to go from at least thinking about planning their website to having a well-organized Google Doc with all the different sections of their website plan.
I like that. I like how you've got this structured. Everything's just step by step. It's logical. I need it to be like that, instead of giving me this broad idea, which I can just ruminate over and never actually get something done. I can do the steps. I can see my progress. And so I like this system that you've put together for building the website. Plus, and I didn't realize this, all of the support materials that goes with it, the how-to videos, the ways to interact to gain more information. So it's having just a book is great, but you've got some bonus material that's going along
Mhm.
with it. That's fantastic. I love that. So when it comes to photographers, are there any special considerations that maybe that it should be included in website planning process that wouldn't be part of that process or part of that system, or is it all just really part of it? Or maybe there's some consideration that we need, some little tweak that we could add or do that makes it even better for us.
Okay. Yeah, when it comes to portrait photographers, yeah, the only thing I would say is just keep in mind that a portfolio page will be one of your necessary web pages, because after all, you need a way to showcase your past works to your prospective clients. And then I'll go and share a pro tip. Like when it comes time to actually building your website and uploading photos to your portfolio page, make sure the photos you upload, make sure they are in the WebP format. And that's a special kind of compressed image file. Because once you upload the photos in the compressed WebP format, then that will ensure that your web page loads quickly. And just a general rule of thumb, yeah, every website should load in 3 seconds or less.
Okay. WebP. So that is a new file. I've mentioned it before here on the show, but we're used to things like JPEG and GIFs or GIFs, however you say it. And so we're used to those kinds of files. And so if we're still using those kind of files, I guess that would be considered the old way. Is it causing us problems?
Well, I mean, it's going to vary case by case, website by website. I mean, it's going to depend on, I mean, how much content is on the website and other backend factors. So, I mean, I couldn't really give you a straightforward answer here. It's just going to vary on the individual website.
So it's just all about how long it takes to load. That's really what you said earlier. That's the bottom line, is the loading time.
Right.
Okay. Cool. All right. So AI, what's the advantage? I mean, I use AI often, but how does using AI for website planning give business owners an advantage compared to whatever other way that they may have done it?
Okay. So, yeah, if you're to plan your website the old school way, so chances are you'd have to find a quiet place with minimal distractions. You'd have to spend time brainstorming your business goals, your website goals, and then you'd have to spend time brainstorming potential names for your website and the slogan. And then you would have to do a Google search for website color schemes and spend about an hour or so looking at various color schemes, and then spend another hour looking at various font schemes and stuff. And this can often take more than one day. Whereas with AI, yeah, you can train ChatGPT to be your personal assistant, and with the right prompts and with the right guidance, yeah, ChatGPT can help you determine your business goals, your website goals, the right colors for your site, the right fonts for your site, and it can generate all of that within a few hours, so in just less than 24 hours.
Yeah. So I'm just imagining all the time that I have spent over the years doing all that stuff, and yeah, ridiculously time consuming. And it almost feels like it's never done because there's always more tweaks that need to go. But just that time in planning and putting everything together, tweaking, making it just right, it was frustrating. There were many times where I had to walk away for a moment to relax. So yeah, it definitely sounds like it's blowing away the old way. The first website I ever created was back in 1996. It was for landersphotography.com.
Oh, wow.
And it was interesting because I felt like I was behind. I felt like everybody, well, I knew not everybody had it, but I felt like pretty much everybody already had a website. Well, what I realized, and pretty quickly, was I was wrong. A very small percentage of photographers had websites in 1996. And so while my website designing skills at that time were not very good, and there weren't a whole lot of options to help you with it. You had to actually learn HTML at that time. You had to know the colors that you chose, those Pantone color numbers. What's that called?
The hex codes.
You had to know those, the hex codes. Yeah. There were charts and things where you could get it, but you had to know. And I would just memorize my colors, so I would just continue to use those. That is a good thing to have your colors memorized or written down somewhere. But yeah, we've got all these different variables, and if we've got AI on our team, then we're having to worry about a whole lot less. So I'm liking this. So for people who aren't tech savvy, and some of the things maybe that we've said so far, they didn't understand what we were talking about, how accessible is the planning process that you outline in your book?
All right, well, in general, I do assume that the majority of my readers are most likely don't have a technical background or a design background. So I do keep the non-tech savvy reader in mind. So throughout my book, I do include screenshots and other tips for guiding readers along. So, like, for example, if nobody knows how to set up Google Docs, I include screenshots on how to set up the Google Docs. Like, after setting up your Gmail account, then you go to your Google Drive, and then once you're in Google Drive, you click here and there to set up the Google Docs. And I also assume that some of my readers may not be familiar with ChatGPT, so I do include screenshots related to ChatGPT and how to set that up. And just a pro tip, like whatever Gmail account you use for your business, it's good to use that for registering with ChatGPT and any other AI tools. So in my book, I show readers how to register the ChatGPT account using their Gmail account, and then just general overview of how ChatGPT works. And then in addition to all of that, my bonus companion course includes video guidance on like how to set everything up in the Google Drive, how to set up the Google Docs, and how to navigate around ChatGPT. And as I go through the example prompts for each entrepreneurial character, like I show you how I copy and paste the prompts into ChatGPT, and then after seeing the output, I show you which outputs you're going to paste, that you're going to copy and then paste into the example blueprint. And then while the ChatGPT prompts are in my book, they're also in the bonus companion course for you to copy and paste. So in summary, I did my best to make life easy for all my readers.
And it sounds like you succeeded. There's a lot of thickness to this. So reading a book is great. It's wonderful. You gain a lot from it, but you've really put a lot into the. If we think of the book as the foundation, you've done a lot of groundwork that supports it, that lifts it up with all these extra things that you're talking about, these videos, these screenshots, these how-tos, the going into depth of these different points in the process. So, man, I'm really liking this. So when we're creating a website blueprint, what elements should we're a service-based business, so what kind of things should we prioritize that is going to cause us to attract our ideal clients?
Sure. When it comes to client attraction, you'll definitely want to refine your target audience. You definitely want to get crystal clear on who you serve, because if you try to appeal to everybody, you're going to ultimately appeal to nobody. And then once you have that target audience in place, and that's going to be very important when you get to this section on establishing your brand colors and fonts, because you definitely want to make sure you use the right colors and right fonts that's going to resonate with your target audience. So, like, for example, a wedding photographer will most likely use colors and fonts different from a photographer who focuses more on corporate clients. So so once you have your target audience down, and once you have the right colors and fonts that resonate with your target audience, then in the long run, you're going to have a more inviting online presence.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of one of those important variables is if we're going to put this effort into building a website, we want it to attract our clients. We want to see them coming in. We want to get leads from it. We want for those leads to at some point turn into real business that where dollars are hitting the bank account so that we can use them to do the things we want in our ideal life. So how about something along the lines of brand alignment? How should business owners select website colors or fonts or design elements, the things that are complementing their brand when they're planning their site? What do we need to think about if we've never thought about this before?
Okay, yeah, if you've never thought about this before, so as I mentioned previously, yeah, you'll definitely want to get crystal clear on your target audience, who you serve. Then once you have that down, then you'll be able to establish the right colors and fonts for your website and for your business as a whole. And the beauty about ChatGPT is you can actually train it to be your brand consultant, because like once it knows your target audience and who you're serving, it can actually recommend the right colors and the right fonts, so that you don't have to spend like hours like browsing website color schemes or font schemes and just hoping you find the right colors and fonts to use for your website and overall brand.
Okay, I can see that. So, if we are not using AI, or if we have limited use of it, or maybe we're have an aversion to it, it scares us a little bit. Lots of different things, along those that cause people not to use this tool. Using it for these additional things, maybe something they're not familiar with. And so, like using it as that brand advisor, is this something that you enter in as questions to ChatGPT to figure out how it can advise you? Are there things that you're entering in? Is there a process that someone has to take? And if there is that something that's in the book, or is that something that that I can figure out on my own?
And yep, that is in the book. I actually include a very detailed prompt on how to determine the right colors for your audience and for your website. Based on the output for your target audience that would have been in a previous prompt you entered.
Cool. All right. So, what pages would you consider essential for a photographer to effectively convert visitors? Is this a thing where you want to have a whole bunch of pages? The more pages you have, the better, or do we actually want to have a very systematic approach where we have maybe the fewest pages available? What pages are we considering? What would I include? What would I think about? I mean, if AI is helping me, that's one thing, but it's still crossing my mind. What pages would I include on a website?
Okay, yeah. When it comes to creating the right pages, well, obviously every business website's need the home page, the about page, your services page, and the contact page, and the terms of service and privacy policy. But when it comes to really something that's going to really help you bring in those like leads, clients, and revenue, the top two pages that you'll really want to get down are your portfolio page, since you're going to want a way of showing people like your past works. And then after someone views your portfolio, they determine you're the real deal. Then you want to have either a request a quote or book a call page. And typically you want to have a link or button on the portfolio page towards that. So after someone views your portfolio, they're ready to move forward, then you don't have a link or a button for them to request a quote or book a call. And just in general, you want to make it easy as possible for your website visitors to reach out to you. and get the ball rolling with you. So once you have your portfolio page and the request a quote or book a call page, then that will help get that website visitor on the path from being a casual browser to like on the phone with you and ready to book a session with you.
All right. I definitely see that progression, that path. So thank you for that. So I'm just thinking about as if I've gone through this process that you have very clearly put into your book step by step, and you've got the background materials that are backing that up to give me additional support. Once someone has gone through that process, when someone has completed their website blueprint, what's next? What are their options for turning that plan into a live website, something that is there, something that someone can visit?
Yeah, in chapter 11 of my book, actually include guidance on the next steps that someone can take. So there's 3 different paths someone can take once they have their website blueprint in place. The first path is the do-it-yourself route. If someone wants to continue doing everything by themselves, I'll offer some tips and guidance on that. The second route is the done with you route, where you find a website designer to help you build your website like in real time. And the third option is the done for you route, where you hire another trusted professional to build the website for you. And if someone's unsure which route is best for them, actually have a quiz in chapter 11 that people can take to determine whether the do it yourself, done with you, or done for you route is best for them.
Man, you've like covered everything. All right. So I still have some more questions though. So I'm thinking about growth planning. How can business owners ensure their website blueprint allows for the future? Because we change, we evolve. Is it something that we don't need to worry about right now? It just needs to be present, or do we need to consider future expansion or evolution as business owners? Do we need to consider that when we're building out this website?
Well, as I mentioned in my book, you can think of your website blueprint in the form of a living document that could change or evolve over time.
Yeah.
And one of the beauties of having your website blueprint in the form of a Google Doc is that, you can revisit it, update it at any time.
Nice. So, and would you consider that something you do pretty often, or just when you're making some kind of significant change? Or because we're photographers, we'll probably be revisiting that website often, changing out the images in our portfolio?
Well, obviously, it's going to vary from person to person, but I figure maybe a few times a year you might be revisiting that document. So, like maybe you decide to adopt a new brand identity and change your colors and fonts, or maybe you decide to serve a different audience. I mean, maybe you started off in wedding photography, but maybe you're now interested in, I don't know, corporate photography.
Okay.
So obviously, you would note that in the blueprint.
So it's just an as needed. It's not really planned into the planning. Your business is going to evolve, and so you just change as needed.
Right, you're going to change as
Right.
needed.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So what about problems that I might come across? What do you see? What are you seeing as the biggest planning mistakes that business owners are making when creating their website plans?
Well, probably the biggest planning mistake I could think of is like not making a plan at all. Because trying to build a website without a blueprint, that's almost like trying to build a house without a blueprint.
Got
So
it.
like if you don't have a blueprint telling you like how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's going to go where, if you try to build a house without that prior info, then you're probably going to have a total mess. So
Yeah.
likewise, when you try to build a website without a blueprint, it's like you don't know what colors you're going to use or what fonts you're going to use or what pages you're going to build, then you're only making life more frustrating and more difficult for yourself. And the only other problem I can see is like not using ChatGPT properly. Because as I mentioned in my book, like you want to use all the prompts like all in the same chat window. You want to stay in that same chat window from start to finish.
Okay.
Like if you finish one section and then if you start on another section in a new chat window, since it's not going to have those prior outputs, then it's not going to like give you the appropriate outputs, the appropriate guidance for your blueprint.
That makes sense. You want the future responses to be influenced by what you've already done. So yeah, that makes sense to keep it in the same window. Okay, I hear you. Cool. All right. So what about planning as far as return on investment? So how should business owners be thinking? What should their mindset be about return on investment when planning their website structure or content? Because there's probably a lot of things that we could do that just aren't needed, maybe wasting our time, maybe even diverting attention from our ideal client. So what's our mindset? What things should we be thinking about when planning the website structure and content when it comes to return on investment?
Well, when it comes to return on investment, well, just keep in mind that all the time and energy you spend on creating your website blueprint, I mean, that's time and energy like well invested right there. I mean, once you take the time to lay the foundation for your website, and that's going to make life much easier for you. That's going to make it easier for you to work on the strategic content for your website. And also, yeah, once you really take the time to craft your content for each web page, then you want to give every web page a clear objective, whether it's like showcasing your services or whether it's generating leads. Like once you have the strategic content and everything else in place, then you can look forward to a website that's going to bring you those leads, and that's going to lead to more efficient marketing efforts and ultimately more revenue.
Okay. That's a good answer. I appreciate that. And what is when someone is thinking about planning their website, or maybe they're in the middle of it, or maybe they are thinking about updating their website, they're feeling like it's not causing them to have any positive return. They're not getting the leads that they felt like they should be getting from having that website. So I'm curious, what have you found is the biggest misconception that people may have about website planning, and what is it that might be holding them back, causing them not to do the things that need to get done?
Yeah, the biggest misconception. Well, yeah, there's a number of things I could say here, but well, chances are they probably didn't take the time to plan out all the details ahead of time. And I mean, it's possible that maybe they're trying to appeal to everybody rather than having a specific niche. Maybe they're not using the right brand colors, brand fonts. Maybe there's some sort of disconnect there. And because I know I've audited some websites where, like, right when I land on the home page, like there's like so much coming at me. It's like there's like so much text, and I'm just like too overwhelmed to continue on. So, and I am a fan of a business author and coach named Donald Miller. And one of the things he says that if you confuse, you lose. So if right when someone lands on your homepage, I mean, if you confuse or overwhelm your audience, you are going to lose them.
It's a good quote. It's definitely a good quote. Do you see people putting too many pages on websites, or when you do the website reviews, do you find that they're putting out the right information, just maybe a slight tweak is what it needs?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I've come across websites that have too many pages, but yeah, maybe their current pages just need to be tweaked. And I'll go and share another pro tip that I share in my book is, like, out of all the website audits I've done, the most common mistake I find is like no legal pages. There's no terms of service, no privacy policy. And if
Okay.
you're collecting personal information like names, email addresses, like whether it's a contact form or getting someone to book a call with you, by not having a privacy policy there, you're kind of living life on the edge. Because yeah, as I mentioned in my book, I mean, we have international privacy laws as well as state-specific privacy laws. And I think a few years ago, our state of Texas came out with a privacy law about that. Like if someone goes to your website, if you don't have the right privacy policy in place, like if you don't assure your website visitors that you treat their info with the utmost respect, then you could get dinged somehow.
Okay. That's interesting. And that's one of those things that when you're building your website, that it doesn't fit your stereotype of what you're building it for, because you're building it for attention, to get your ideal client's attention. You're doing it to show your works. You're doing it to be kind of a salesperson for you when someone's just doing research. And so having those extra pages, if you haven't done this before, you're not going to know. You're not going to include those. And so that's covered in your book about how to do that, and what considerations to make when creating those. Is that how you've identified it or worked with it in your book?
Oh yes, I do have a chapter in my book about the necessary web pages that you'll need. Because one of my other entrepreneurial characters is a jewelry shop owner. Like he has a local jewelry shop, but he wants to build an e-commerce store to supplement his local jewelry shop. Yeah. So I talk about considerations for e-commerce websites, and as well as for other small business websites. And also, obviously, every website's going to need like the homepage, about page, the services, and the contact, and the blog, or like if someone like wants to get the attention of reporters, whatnot, then you want to have a press kit page up for that. In fact, I'm actually in the process of creating my own press kit page as we speak. Yeah, and yeah, like I said, yeah, you'll definitely want that terms of service and privacy policy. And as I mentioned in my book, I do recommend Termageddon for your terms of service and privacy policy pages. Termageddon makes it very easy for you, because once you pay them a license fee, then you'll get a terms of service and privacy policy that like auto updates every time the law changes. So in case another state decides to adopt privacy laws, then the Termageddon will take care of all that on the back end for you.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's very cool. All right. So chances are everybody's going to want to buy your book, but is there something, maybe a website planning action that photographers could just do right now, they could implement today before they've read your book? Is there something that you just say, yeah, go ahead and do this right now?
Well, if I could recommend one action item, I would say that if you don't have a Gmail account set up specifically for your photography business, set up that Gmail account now. And if you don't have a ChatGPT account set up, then whatever Gmail account you use for your photography business, use that to register your ChatGPT account. And once you have those in place, then you'll be able to hit the ground running with my book.
Nice. Show that again. I want to see it. Nice. So, all right. So this, we're coming down to needing to start closing this down. So, Andrew, this has really been an eye-opening conversation. I mean, you and I have talked about this before, but I still learned some new things from you today, and so I'm really appreciating it, and I'm excited about it, and I believe the photographers watching are going to be excited. And so you've given us so much to think about when it comes to planning and optimizing our web presence. So for those who want to learn more about your approach and get your complete guide, where can they find your book, from idea to blueprint?
What is currently available on Amazon in both the Kindle version and paperback version. If someone wants to get a free chapter before buying, they can go to website bpbook.com, and they can sign up for a free chapter and example blueprint there.
What was that address again?
It's website, the letter B, letter P, and book. It's all one word. .com.
All right, website bpbook.com.
Yes, sir.
And that's how to get your book.
Right. Yeah, where they can either buy the book or download a free sample chapter plus sample blueprint.
All right. I'm going to put that up on the screen. So sample chapter and more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So read that and make sure that I got that right.
And yep, that's correct.
Okay. Website bpbook.com. You guys go do that right now. Because I mean, at the very least, you're getting a free sample chapter and a free template. Is that what you said?
A free sample blueprint. Yeah, it's actually
sample blueprint. Okay.
It's actually Ed's blueprint, the example photographer they'll get to see.
Nice. Very cool.
And I promise you, there's no way I could have planned all this ahead of time.
Just works out. Things just work out. That's just how things happen. So that's fantastic. So you guys take advantage of that right now. Do a screenshot of it with your cell phone if you want to. But go to website bpbook.com to get more information. Andrew, I want to thank you sincerely for sharing your expertise with our Portrait Profits community. I call them Lens Legends, LENS, Lens Legends. Your insights on website planning and AI tools, okay, they're going to help. They're going to help so many photographers create more effective online presences. So I appreciate you taking the time to break down these concepts in a way that's practical and actionable. So best of luck to you in your book. I hope you sell a ton of copies, and I'm sure that our viewers are going to want to check it out. I'm going to be. Are there any closing thoughts? Anything you wanted to share before I move on to sharing the announcements and the upcoming shows that are coming up?
Sure. Yeah, as a closing comment, I would say that, as you're using AI to plan your website and then eventually create your website content, just make sure you don't let AI do all the work for you. Like when creating the content for your different web pages, don't just take ChatGPT's output, then paste that onto the website. So you still want to make sure that your website and overall brand reflects your personal touch and your voice. And just anything ChatGPT outputs to you, I would treat it more like as an initial draft rather than everything done for you.
I appreciate that. You know what? You know your stuff. And it's obvious you've put a lot of time and effort and research and blood, sweat, and tears into this. Yeah. And, I appreciate people who do that. Part of that reason is because we get to benefit from it. We don't have to invest the blood, sweat, and tears. You did that for us. All we need to do is do a little research to look into your book, and that's easy because you just go to and I'll put it back on the screen because I did take it off. Website bpbook.com, or go to Amazon. In fact, one of our viewers commented on this. Let me put that comment on here. So let's see. Robert says he sees it on Amazon.
Yep, it's on there.
So that's fantastic. Thank you for letting us know about that, Robert. Appreciate that. But I want to thank you one final time, Andrew. Your knowledge is impressive. I enjoy how calm and just friendly that you are, and I think that plays a big role. I want to work with people who that I like. In fact, that's something that I tell photographers all the time. People do business with people they like, and so Just search out people that you like, define who it is that you like. There's your ideal client, and
Uh,
just do everything in your power to get their attention. Put yourself in their path. And you're the kind of person that I like, someone who's calm, who's happy, who's actually loves helping others, not just saying that because it looks good or sounds good. That's actually you. And so thank you
oh yeah.
so much for donating your time today, for sharing your interests, for just being generous, being the wonderful person that you are. Thank you, Andrew.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. So I'm going to take Andrew off and move on to the closing thoughts here. Um, what an informative conversation we just had. I mean, Andrew really highlighted how a strategic approach to your website can transform your photography business. So, for everyone watching, I hope you've gained some clarity on how to approach your website in a way that's going to be drawing in ideal clients. The beauty of creating this clear blueprint that Andrew was talking about before you build anything is that it saves you time, it saves you money, it saves you frustration, it keeps you clear on what it's going to do, it increases your confidence level. Now, I want you to commit to one specific action based on what you've learned today. Whether that's maybe blocking off your calendar one day to create your website blueprint. Maybe it's revisiting your existing site with new insights, or simply getting clear on what you want for your website to accomplish your photography business. Do me a favor and type in the comments. Tell me what action you're going to take on your website. What's next? If that's going to WebBP, I'll put that up on this book.com, put that up on the screen one more time, and looking into it, see what Andrew's all about, and potentially getting that book. That is the next step. Whatever your next step is, tell me in the comments. What are you going to be doing? And I'll check back on your progress in future episodes. I want you to remember this: a strategic online presence is one of the most powerful tools you can use to attract your ideal clients. I know sometimes I feel like I'm behind. If you feel like you're behind, you're not. Right now is the right time. You're building something with intention, and everything you add, consider that a gift to your future self. Andrew did a great job. I appreciate him. Shared a lot of good stuff. He knows a lot about this subject, and so yeah, check out that book. All right, now I've got some announcements to tell you about some things that are happening here in the near future, and so I'm going to tell you about those. Let's see. The first is I've got for some of you this is going to be review. For others, you may never taken a basics class before, but I've got a field trip style basics class coming up. It's going to be on 4 consecutive Wednesdays, beginning April 30th. In the evening, 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to meet at a different location each time. So each one is a photo walk. And so I want you to, and I'll put that information here on the screen. In fact, I'll give you a QR code for that as well. And let me put that over on the side. There we go. So either use that URL that you see on the screen, or use your phone and use the QR code that's on the screen right now. If 4 consecutive Wednesdays is not something that you can make happen, well, I have a one-day version. So let me put the one-day version up as well. And so it has a different QR code, a different URL. And so there's the information about the one day. It's going to be on Saturday, May 3rd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that's coming up in just about a month, right around the corner. So do a screenshot of that, or just use your cell phone and use that QR code. Now, the next thing I want to announce is the career photographer program, because I have redesigned that. And I thought I had, there it is. Yes, there's the QR code for my career photographer program. Now, the career photographer program I wrote originally in 2018. A lot has changed since 2018. You don't need me telling you that. The career photographer program has changed. It is a different program. It's a coaching program now that still includes all the business classes that were there before, but it actually includes more. And each one of them has been updated, has been changed because things are different. Post COVID is different than pre COVID. We know this. The career photographer program is my signature coaching program for committed portrait photographers who want to build a highly profitable, low volume. So we don't want to photograph a whole lot of people, but we definitely want to make a solid income so that they can make a bigger impact or enjoy more freedom and increase their income with confidence. So for more information, use your phone and go to that QR code that you see there. And that will give you a PDF. It'll take you to a page that has a several page introduction about what this is about. Now, as you know, the Portrait Profit Show happens every single Monday. And so I want to tell you what the upcoming shows are going to be for the entire month of. So the first one week from today on April 7th, this one is called How to Build a Photography Business That Supports Your Ideal Life. So here's something that you can do. You can build a portrait photography business that fits your values, that fuels your creativity, and supports the life that you want. So in this episode, a week from today, you'll discover the foundation for every smart decision you make. Let's talk about building the success that's as unique as you. And then 1 week after that, on April 14th, we do what we always do on the second Monday of the month. We move the time from noon to 6:30 in the evening. And the reason is because, well, it's easier to get panelists to be there for our panel discussion. This one will be called My Process. You get to find out how other photographers do their client workflow. Join me for a dynamic discussion where the curtain is pulled back on branded client journeys that build trust, add value, and helps those photographers stand out in a crowded market. You're going to hear creative ideas from photographers who've turned everyday steps, the things that everybody's doing, but maybe just a touch more, maybe added some wow factors, but added to their everyday steps into extraordinary experiences that their clients love and keep coming back for more. That is 2 weeks from today. Put it on your calendar, April 14th at 6:30 in the evening. And then 1 week after that, on April 21st at noon, we're going to be talking about creating a signature process. What if your process was the reason why someone chose you? In other words, you're using your process as a marketing tool. So they might choose you before, maybe they've even seen your portfolio. Maybe they've never seen your work before, but it was your process that got their attention. What if the way you work was so clear, so compelling, so unmistakably you, that clients instantly said, I want that? In this lesson, you'll turn your client experience into your signature process. And you'll give it the kind of name, structure, and story that makes you unforgettable. That's on April 21st at noon. And then the last one of the month, April 28th at noon, I'm going to interview a performance coach. This one's called The Performance Fix Your Business Needs. And I'll be interviewing Carlos Villarreal. And so if you're overwhelmed, you're underbooked, or just plain stuck, this episode, we're bringing in performance coach Carlos Villarreal to help photographers get clear, focused, and finally unstuck. You don't need more hustle. You need better direction. That's on April 28th at noon. And put it on your calendar. Every Monday at noon, with the exception of the second Monday of each month, put it on your calendar. Just put it there. Make sure it's there all the time. Add it to your Google Calendar or whatever you use and just permanently block off the time for the Portrait Profit Show. Now, I want to thank you, Lens Legends, for joining me today. And a special thank you to our guest, Andrew Martinez, for sharing his expertise on website planning using AI. Andrew's insights on creating a complete blueprint in 24 hours or less were incredibly valuable. If you found this helpful, please check out his book, From Idea to Blueprint, and use that link that I shared with you earlier. I'll put it up on the screen one more time. There we go. There we go. And please like or share and join us every week at noon for the next Portrait Profits show. Today, we explored how creating a website blueprint using AI can transform your online presence without needing technical skills, without needing design experience. Now is the time to take that knowledge and put it to work. Create your website blueprint. Start mapping out the essential pages that you need. Use ChatGPT to help you brainstorm your color schemes, your fonts, your content structure. I would love to see what you have created as a result of watching this show. So post a screenshot of your website planning process or the front page of your website. And if you do post something, will you do me a favor and enter in hashtag portrait profits at the end of it? That way, when you tag it, I know that's part of it. If you don't tag it, I actually won't know that you've done this. So maybe you want to just share your approach in how this is helping you clarify your online strategy. By doing this, you're actually helping yourself. You're causing me to know that this is beneficial. But the cool side effect is you'll probably inspire someone else to get started too. Your website is often a client's first impression of your photography business. So let's make that impression strategic, professional, and unmistakably yours. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm the host of the Portrait Profit Show, where we ignite passion and transform business. Until next week, Lens Legends, keep creating those powerful emotional connections that transform both yours and you and your clients' lives. I look forward to watching you grow. You guys are awesome. Bye for now.